on YouTube. YouTube, Facebook as well. Okay, so won't be just a second. Hopefully this is going to work together. Yes. Okay, we've got it. It's trying to reconnect. Nope. It's up. It's up. It's up. Come on, please work. All right, everybody. Just going to have to pause for a second. Okay, hang on. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Confidence and Business Advice webinar. I am just trying to get Facebook up and going. If it's not going to work, that's okay. I will... It sounds good on YouTube. All right, let me just try to reconnect on Facebook. What I'm getting is a signal. Sounds great. Okay. All right. Sorry, everyone. This is ridiculous. This happens to me. If I can't get it on Facebook, I'm going to have to just go for it on here. So hopefully this will work now. Okay. It looks like it's working so far. Thank you guys for being a part of this webinar. Thanks guys for coming in. I'm going to get started. I'm going to get started pretty soon with talking and getting it all happening, and hopefully you guys can see and hear me. So obviously I'm on. Hey Lady Knights. Hey everyone that's coming into Facebook as well. It's a little bit tricky when you're trying to do two. But welcome to those who are here, because this is going to be really important for you and your growth. Cindra's here as well. So Melissa, thank you guys for coming in. I hope you guys know that this is a webinar. You guys are getting a free big webinar. Sounds great? Oh, good. Thank you. So you guys are getting this webinar. I'm just going to... couldn't hear myself think just then. So welcome. Thank you for coming in. I'm going to, as always, oops, this has come up. There we go. Okay, hi. Hi, everyone. Hey from Romania. Welcome to people who are new here, and welcome everybody. Deborah's here. We've got Linda. Lots of people coming in. I'm doing this on Facebook and on YouTube. So I really appreciate you guys for sticking around. This is going to be quite a bit of a long webinar, so I understand if some of you have to go. It is on confidence, building confidence. Hi, Emma. Building confidence. This is not for readings today. So I know some people are coming in with readings questions. This is a webinar, and I'll be turning off the chats as I get talking about things, okay? Hey, Bet. Welcome, Michelle. Thank you guys for coming on in. This means a lot to me, this particular webinar. So what I will do is when I'm giving the presentation, I won't be able to see your chats, and then I will put it back on when you need to ask questions, etc. And hopefully it'll all work. Okay, hopefully it will all work. Thanks for coming in. We are protected, of course, as we're doing anything like this. Just switch from Facebook. Okay, cool. Yeah, if it's too hard to watch on, I'm going to keep it going on Facebook, but it sometimes is easier for me on YouTube. But I didn't want Facebook people to miss out. There are a lot of Facebook people who've been around since day one, and it is part of your... Hey, Peter. Welcome. Oh, okay, Michelle's coming over as well. Yeah, so it is part of your journey. Will be working with Facebook as well. So I really want to thank each and every one of you for joining. I'm trying to get used to it. I'm using my husband's phone on YouTube. So normally I look over here on my phone. Now I've got to look over here. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to get started in about 5 or so minutes. So I'm just kind of waiting for some people to come through. when I am speaking, like I said, I will have the chat off. So my husband will hopefully be around. Facebook, you'll just have to stick with it. Hi, Elma. People are coming in. Thank you so much. Hello, Elaine. So welcome. Thank you very much for being here. Lots of kids, no income. You definitely need this. I think anybody needs this. Okay, business ideas. If you have, I'm going to make it quite simple for you today. And I'm trying to just go through the basics of it. Okay, cool. I'm going to just go through the basics of things as we're going along. And how I got started. And I did it the old school, old fashioned way. Now you guys have got so much help and assistance as you're going through your business stuff. Hi, Sherry. Thank you. Yeah, as you're going through I'd be very excited. I'm really, really happy for you. Marissa, I hope you don't mind if I tell people a little bit about you as well as we're going along, because it may really inspire some people who really don't have an excuse, right? So we're at the point in our life. Okay, thanks, Marissa. I will when it gets to the point. I don't want to make you feel horrible. But we're going to be talking about having confidence first. It's key to being successful within any kind of business that you want to start. Animals, photography, anything that you want to do. You must have this confidence. And I'm going to teach you where you may be going wrong with your confidence, etc. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. So where you may be going wrong with things, how your mind might think, and how this can block you as well. And how you're going to be able to use this new energy as you're moving into creating a business for yourself, getting the ball, so getting the ball rolling in the right way. If you don't do it in the right way, you may not see anything coming in, and then you'll feel like you're failing. Hey, Dana. So I'm really, really happy that people are here with me. Obviously, this is a big thing that I wanted to do. You guys asked for it. And I'm sorry for Facebook. If I'm looking over here, it's really hard to keep an eye on two cameras. Unless my eyes were cross-eyed or something. And I'm wishing everybody a wonderful, hey, Kathy. Wishing everybody a wonderful, supportive Christmas, of course, and moving into the new year. And hopefully next year, some of you that are listening today are going to start and embark on your own new business or revamping your original business and just having the confidence to do it perhaps once and for all and sticking with it. Because it's I know I did it the hard way. I know how hard it can be to keep on going when you're not seeing much happening either. All right. So we're going to talk a lot about the different reasons why you have confidence issues. You may not even realize it's an issue. You may not even realize some of these things are blocking you. Now, I hope that Facebook can hear me. I'm going to try to turn this right up. Right up, right up, right up. Facebook, can you hear me now? And I think that you guys can hear me on Facebook, okay? Sorry, YouTube, can you hear me? Let me know if I think it's up level. Okay, good, thanks. All right, let's just let a few people come in. Thank you so much for being here. Yep, a lot of people are under stress right now. Okay, good. You know what? I don't even know how you heard me, Facebook, because it was turned right down. So sorry, everybody. I will be having my water and stuff. Okay. You hear me? I've got water, juice, and coffee. I'm ready to go. Look, I've got another water here. Awesome. So get your notebooks. Get something to write down some notes to get busy with this. Once I start getting into a little bit about the business side of things. Take a pee break if you need to. Yeah. Once I start getting to work on the business side of things, you really want to take some notes. Oh, you're welcome, Kathy. I've been meaning to do this, and I'll probably have to do another part, which is more concentrated on the website side of things and behind the scenes. This is something, just so you guys know, if you're wanting to start a website, don't do it straight away, okay? Great. I'm glad that this is going to be helpful. So don't start your website straight away. I'll explain why. But if any of you in the future do need help behind the scenes, don't pay thousands and thousands out of your own pocket for all these other people to do stuff. I'm going to show you how to do stuff yourself. Once you know how to do things, right, you can organize and run everything. It is hard work. It is hard work. I'm not gonna joke, around about it. It is. But I do have a lot of information to share. And I will stop for questions so that you guys can ask me stuff. Hopefully I can help because on Facebook, I'll be able to run this a little bit. But I don't think there's anybody I know that's in there that can help people. If you are in Facebook and I'm talking and I've got the questions off, like the chat, because I'm going to have to turn the chat off. Once I have that turned off, if someone can help and let people know she's not answering questions right now, and then I'll come in to answer questions as well. So, because I've got my husband's phone. Yeah. So, because I've got his phone. Okay, thanks, Marissa. Yeah, just so, because people come in at all different times, and I want to help you. So, confidence. We are working with, it's not going to be too much spirituality in this, although obviously that's who I am. So that's what's gotten me where I am. Oh, thanks, Jane. So that's what's gotten me where I am. But I'm going to try to keep it sort of generic for anybody who's listening may actually get something. I appreciate all of you coming in with your comments. I'm trying to see them. But yeah, this is going to be for absolutely anybody who needs assistance with their business or just has an idea in the back of your minds. Even if you have an idea in the back of your mind and you have a real passion for something, you owe it to yourself to just try, even just try, right? Because you never know who wants what you have. And too many ideas. I know, too many ideas. A lot of the things that you can do, I'm just burning Palo Santo. A lot of the things that you can do can be incorporated, all right? But we're going to get there. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to get into the webinar. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. And 21st on Monday, we have solstice, and we have a connection between Jupiter and Saturn that hasn't happened for 800 years. That's going to be connecting, almost like the Star of Bethlehem, right? Just this huge, amazing light in the sky. So that's going to be beautiful. That's coming for the solstice on Monday. We have Christmas, of course, coming up. I'm going to be live again with my husband on Christmas Eve, okay? And I'm going to be a elf. I'm going to be a helper, and my husband's just going to wear his Santa hat. But we will be here again for that. Ho, ho, ho. And that'll be more fun, talks, etc. All the stuff that we're going to be doing. Be an angel elf. Yeah. We'll have fun, I'm sure. It's harder. You know what? It's harder on Facebook because I can't see the messages as they come up. Oh, hey, Katie. Just as I said that, someone came in. Yeah, it's a lot of fun when we're doing the chat together, for sure. Okay. Yeah, so we have Christmas Eve, and then we're going to have a New Year's Eve one the following week, of course. If you haven't seen my last year's, like my husband said, if you didn't see my Christmas thing that I did last year, I was wearing a Santa face and everything. It was the funniest laugh I've had. I mean, we watched it again the other night just to have the laugh. But that was funny. Actually, if anybody wants to donate today and you're not a member of Patreon, I really would just prefer that you just spent $5 and become a patron, because everything's going to be moving to Patreon most likely. Who knows what's happening around the globe, etc. But you get so much more just for $5 a month. You can learn so much. You'll do webinars, you'll have meditations at hand, you'll have videos, you'll have deeper readings, all that sort of stuff. So I'm doing it all on Patreon. And it's patreon.com/Devine Miracles, and then you'll find me. So if you were thinking about making a donation, I'd really love it if you were a part of my Patreon team. Okay, so we got Jenny, Katie's here, a few people are watching, thank you so much. Okay, getting ready to get started with this webinar. I will turn off the chat when I get started, and just know this is on YouTube as well as Facebook. And hey Jenny, and I will turn off the chat as I said, so you'll be listening in. This is a big thing today. And then we will do questions about what I'm talking about. I know people will try to sneak in a personal question, but that's okay. And I want you to take some notes, because there's a lot of things in here that have got sub-paragraphs and it can go on a little bit longer. So I didn't make too many notes today. Hey Gina. Yeah, I didn't make too many notes today. Because I just wanted to be able to free flow with my talking, because I knew I was going to be explaining a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. But when I get to the questions and stuff, please do ask about your business and all that sort of thing, and your confidence, whatever it is that I'm talking about. And as I said, I will brush over a little bit of business advice, okay? Because that can become quite in-depth. I mean, we could be talking for a couple of hours just about that. Excellent. And I have a ton of marketing and, internet marketing, and also coding websites and doing websites and setting people's pages up and all that sort of stuff. I didn't want to be offering it, but probably in the new year, if you need help setting up stuff and you want to work with me one-on-one, I can guarantee you now it'd be a quarter of the price of any other website developer, because they're going to charge you a fortune. And even a friend of mine said, she goes, oh, I asked my friend who's a website developer to help me with my website, and she was going to charge me a fortune. That was her friend. So yeah, it may be something that I help you with in the new year, but if you I was just going to say something then. Yeah, if you listen to what I'm saying today, you're probably going to get a really good idea anyway, all right? And then you'll be able to go off and do your own thing. So I know a lot of people are watching without coming into the chat, so welcome to everybody who's just listening. Thank you so much. And I really hope you get a lot out of this today. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. It's 12:12. Yeah, see, people like that. We try to help everybody, but everybody else is, cost a fortune, etc. But welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. Now I'm going to turn off the chat and get ready to start. Make sure you got a notepad. Make sure that you're got an open mind as you're listening. So I'll work through a few different things here, and then we'll do questions and answers. Take a little break if we need to. And when I'm finished at the end of the whole thing, we'll have another question and answers. And then you'll be able to watch this again later on as well. All right, so I'm just going to turn off the chat for each place. So welcome in. All right, so hopefully you guys can still see me. All right, I am getting ready to start. I'm wondering if that's bright enough. Okay. Okay, everybody. All right, so I have my iPad, of course, it's got all my notes on it. I'm going to sit over here so I can feel like I'm kind of in the middle. and let's go. All right, everybody. Oops, just a second. All right, so everybody, as you know from now, my name is BDevine, and that is short for Becky Devine. And my website is divinemiracles.com or bdevineonline.com. And I have been online, working online now since 2009. But I have been working in my own business, with my own readings and spiritual aspects, etc., for 30 years. So since I was 15 years old, and then since I was around about 20, started studying a lot of healing, etc. Went through my own healing battles in all of my 20s, and went through terrible confidence and anxiety issues as well. So as I'm speaking to you guys today, I'm speaking with you from a place of absolute understanding, because I've been there myself, and I created my website all by myself in the old-fashioned way. They didn't have Wix, and they didn't have all of these Shopify and Squarespace and easy to use websites which you could just drag and drop things around. It wasn't like that. And I did internet marketing for about a year or so on my own before I decided to stop making money for other people and to start trying to do something for myself. So my own levels of confidence were very low. My self-esteem was extremely low, but I wanted to help people. I knew I could, if only I could get it out there, and maybe someone would notice me and all of that sort of stuff. When you're beginning any kind of journey like this, working online or just having more confidence in yourself, the biggest thing that I'm going to be talking to you about today is your own self-focus. So I incorporated the things that I was learning about myself into starting something that thousands and thousands and thousands of people already do. Thousands of people already were authors. They already had books. They were already well known in the metaphysical field. Who was going to know BDevine? Who was going to care? Who was going to listen? Those were all things that nearly stopped me from moving forward into my business, because so many people do it. This may be one of the biggest things that is a problem for you, where you feel like, what's the use? There's all these other people around that are really good at doing readings, or maybe they're good with working with animals or photography or filmmaking or web design. There's all these other people, so why should I do it? The biggest mistake that you can make in this industry and working online and being confident inside of yourself, the biggest mistake that you can make is focusing your energy on anybody else at all. Because if I had have done that, and if I had kept on feeling this doubt and fear inside of myself of what if I get things wrong, or what if I make a mistake, and there's so many people doing it, and I've only got this website, and who's got blah, blah, blah. I was telling myself 1,000 things. If I had kept on doing that, none of you would know who I am, right? None of you would be here, kind of thing. So my own levels of confidence, my own levels of anxiety, my own fear of cameras, fear of speaking, fear of not being heard, fear of other people being so much better, fear of people rejecting me or not liking me or thinking it was stupid, to ridicule, etc., from family, or all of that sort of stuff. It was really, really important to me to work out why I was blocking my way forward. So there's some things that I want to share with you today. So there's some things that you need to ask yourself before you even think about pressing on with your own business or getting it revamped or opening something completely new. One, you have to ask yourself these questions. And so when it's question time, you may be able to talk to me about it. Ask yourself if you're always comparing yourself to others. For example, I can't do it because she looks like that. I can't do it because she's doing it over here. He's doing it over there. Oh, he's a better musician than I am. So who's going to listen? Oh, they've written all of these books. I can't do it. How can you compete with someone with hundreds and thousands of subscribers? You know, who's going to notice? Who's going to join? Who's going to be there? Oh, well, don't worry about it. So are you comparing yourself to others in your own life about your looks, about your knowledge, about information that you have, about whether you're too dumb? Do you look to others and think that you could never do it anyway? Are you comparing yourself to others in your everyday life? This is something to ask yourself. Even in your relationships, are you always looking at what somebody else has and wish you had it, or wish you were like that, or wish you were attractive, or wish you were skinny, or wish you were a model, or wish, you know, are you always looking and comparing? This is a big key. Do you feel defeated with how you look, how you sound, etc.? Okay, these are big keys. Do you feel defeated with knowledge? Do you feel like everybody else knows more than you? Are you always worried what others are going to think of you? Okay? All the time, this was me. I was always worried about how I came across, how others would appreciate it, whether my friends would like it, whether my family would be okay with it. And what you're doing is you're living on eggshells, and it's knocking the confidence right out of you. It's not helping you whatsoever. Are you afraid of getting in trouble? Doing something wrong? I know when people are doing readings and all that sort of stuff, they're always asking me, what if I get the answer wrong for the person? And it's like, why don't you focus on the right people coming towards you, the right answers being given all the time? Why don't you focus on channeling the messages rather than you trying to think of the answer? You know? So then it doesn't matter. So if you can change your mindset to any problem that you come up with in your mind, then you can fix it. So do you feel it's too hard? So they're not going to bother with it. It's just too hard. I haven't got the equipment. I haven't got the stuff. It's too hard. You don't need any money to start your business. What you need is just your Facebook page or a phone. That's it to get started. Okay, I'll explain more about that. Are you afraid that nobody will like you? That's another thing as well. So people are afraid that, no one's going to like what they have to say. And so again, worrying about what other people think all the time. Do you suffer from panic attacks as well? This is another thing that blocks your confidence. You get yourself all worked up and then you start having panic attacks. This is something else that I want to talk about at another time. Panic and anxiety disorders, etc. But if you're afraid that you're going to have an attack, then you'll be afraid of doing anything, right? So all of those questions and things in mind, all of those things that you might do, then how can you be confident if all of those things are happening to you? And if you're just coming in, thank you guys for people for just letting people know what I'm doing. Okay. So let me just get this right here. Okay, so your confidence is actually going to be your choice. It seems like everybody else defines you. So I'm just reading from my notes. But you either allow that definition to continue, or you decide that you're not going to waste time anymore and push ahead. But how, right? Because all of your life you have been last, or felt less than good enough. Because of how your relationships failed. So, or someone has cheated on you or cheated or whatever. And you felt like a laughing stock in front of people, right? So there's been all these labels placed upon your shoulders throughout your life in one way or another. So how can you stand out and not care, right? I'll tell you. So maybe you have disabilities. Now, Marissa Molesky, who's here, and she said I had permission to say, she's in a wheelchair, everybody. Marissa is in a I'm going to try not to cry. I won't cry. But Marissa's in a wheelchair. Sorry, guys. And she's trying to help people to heal. So what excuse have we got, really? Okay? So that just really, really got to me. But, you know, people with disabilities are out there trying to help other people. And we all sit around here completely able and completely capable, and we don't do anything, right? And that sort of inspires me. You know, that really inspires me to do more. It inspires me to work as hard as I can. It inspires me to stop caring about what anybody thinks and what they says, because it is not important what they say or what they think or what they're doing. And they prevent you from doing things for yourself. So your mind is the very thing that saves you. Your mind has got to save you, or it's going to literally destroy you. And I'm telling you now, if you let your mind have its way in the negative sense, then your physical body is going to start to deteriorate very, very quickly. I can't get my words out. Deteriorates really, really quickly, right? Because your mind rules your entire body. If you can get your mind to work forward for you, then you can do anything. And suddenly, what anyone else is doing, you don't care, right? You just don't care, because your mind is focused on where you are going. So your mind is a thing that saves you or destroys you. I'm hoping that you're going to use it to save you. Not only save you, but make your life so much stress-free. Make your life so much, you know, you feel good about yourself when you're helping other people. Creating things that you didn't know that you could do. Lifting your vibration to the highest level it can be. And helping other people to grow and show what they can do as well. That's what I'm here for. There was no one to help me in my journey back before the internet. I had books. That's it. And then I would get all these books and just help myself in that way. You know, worry is one of the biggest things. And it blocks your confidence. Because all of you are confident. It's just been knocked out of you. And so you're here to reclaim it, okay? So I knew that when I started online in 2009 that it would be different. This is something that I decided. I thought, well, I can't be like Doreen Virtue or Cassandra Eason or Greg Braden or all of those people. They're all smarty pantses. And I wasn't. I wasn't educated in all those sorts of things. I was self-taught through the University of Hard Knocks, right? Like most of you guys. And reading books and studying in my own fashion. So I knew I was different. People did not have a clue who I was, obviously, and what I could do. Heck, I didn't even know what I was capable of myself. I had no idea exactly what was going to happen here, other than just wanting to help, right? But I knew that if for 1 second, when I started, if for 1 second I worried about what others did, how they spoke, how they looked, how they talked, what they knew, what their degree was, what the heck, anything that they do, that how they operated, then I would fail. So I knew if I focused on everybody else and what they were doing over here, then I was going to fail. I couldn't be looking at social media, YouTube and all these things, except to do research or whatever. But you can't look at other people with the same kind of channel as you, because then you're like, oh God, maybe I should be doing that, or you start, feeling bad, right? So if I kept giving all of my attention away from myself, then I was going to fail. This is not how you have confidence. This is how you make yourself worse, by looking, and even when you're beginning, you start to freak yourself out because you're getting started, you're starting to feel worried, you're starting to feel concerned, right? So you start to make it harder for yourself, I guess you could say. So if I gave my power away, I would give my confidence away. That's what was going to happen. I had to be focused on empowering myself first. How could I teach people to trust if I didn't trust? How could I teach people to have faith if I didn't have any? How could I teach people not to judge if that's what I was doing, right? How could I do anything if I was caring so much about how other people did things, and I was wasting all my time worrying about that and not focusing on what I'm doing, right? It was hard to mind your own business. It's really hard to look after yourself, because when you're first doing all of this, your whole energy is about everybody else. So then you got to focus straight down the line. It can be difficult. So basically, you have to mind your own business in the biggest way possible, right? A new way of speaking to yourself had to develop. After everything that I was doing, it was only getting me more depressed and feeling useless. So I decided to change my ways of thinking. So we're going through this period of getting to know ourselves. We're starting something new. We're stopping old behaviors that we've always done, right? Because of one reason or another, which I'll get into as well. And we decide, okay, that's not working for me. Worry, stress, can it be? Can it work? Where's the money coming from? Who's going to watch? All that stuff is not going to work for me. So I have to change the way that I'm thinking. And I'm not saying that it's easy either. I'm saying this is something that you will have to work on the rest of your life. Changing your ways of thinking, declaring what you want, etc., learning about yourself. But I was determined more than ever that what I was doing before never worked for me. In fact, it gave me more trouble in my life than I ever signed up for, I think, right? One thing after another, after another, after another. One friend after another. One situation after another. One job after another, right? Feeling like going to work was like, getting myself ready for work was like a very, very long ordeal. It wasn't because I was getting ready for a long time, like physically, but mentally I was getting ready for hours before I stepped out the door. I know some of you feel that way. I'd have my crystals and this and that and this and that, and I've got to be up and I've got to have a coffee and I've got to spend plenty of time before I go to work. Then going to work and it's like all day and stress, carrying on, right? Miserable. I can guarantee that many of you guys in normal job positions are miserable, and the reason that you're miserable is because you're not actually doing what you want to do. Because it's too hard, or it's too this, or it's too that, or it's too that, or it's too many people. We have to stop that talk. Okay. So as I said, I'm not saying it was easy, but I was more determined than ever to do something, to be something, and to not let anybody else win in my life anymore. Nobody else is going to win in my life anymore. They're not going to have my time. They're not going to have my mind. They're not going to have my stress. They're not going to have my worry. They're not going to have my sleepless nights anymore. No. And so it was like, but how? And so I tried to change the way that I was thinking. And it works. It works with your confidence. It works with money. It works with your life. It works with friends. It works with cars. It works with training. It works with people. It works with work. It works with everything. It works with health, your spine, your body, healing, your youth, You know, do you want to look like an old bag? You know, when you're getting, like everyone tells you should be at a certain age? Or do you want to keep getting younger? Right? Younger and younger. More energy. It all comes up to this. Okay, so no one had the main stage in my life. It was me first. Really hard to do. Really hard to put yourself first when everything's been about everybody else your whole entire life, right? I did not give my energy away to others and their feelings of me. This was wasted so much of my time, where I'd be wondering what people thought about me, or what did they mean when they said that? What were they saying? What were they thinking? Waste of time. So I didn't give my energy away to others and their feelings of me. I remained and still remain in charge the whole time. I'm in charge of my business, my life, myself, every day, all the time. Right? Not easy. I'm not saying it's simple and just like that you're going to get all of this. But I promise you, if you at least make a try and attempt some of these things that I'm telling you today and be mindful of it in your life, and it may take a little time to get used to it, but I'm telling you now, you will have everything you want in life and more, and be looking forward to what's next instead of dreading what's next. Okay. So I didn't give my energy away to others and their feelings of me. I still don't care. I mean, people are going to say what they're going to say. It doesn't personally affect me anymore. It used to. I will admit that. I used to get very upset. Okay. But, and you know, just that people would think that way, right? It goes right back to all that trying to do good, all that sort of stuff. But I remain the same how I am and in charge all the time. By that, I mean I'm in charge of me, my energy, my thoughts, my life, my goals, my confidence, my abilities, my work, my business. There's no choice in the matter. There's no questioning the matter. There's no changing my mind. There's no going backwards. It has to be this way, or you can't do it. You can't, because you will just be turning yourself backwards and stumbling over yourself again, feeling like a failure, and then you've got to start from ground one again. This can't happen. So I was onto something when I started doing that. I was like really onto something. Believe me, there was all these other thoughts that would come into my mind years ago, and constantly picking on the self, constantly expecting others to also pick on you as well, constantly taking blame for situations and pulling out of things and not being a nuisance and, oh, I wish I had the confidence to do all of that sort of stuff. But I found my thing that I was the most passionate about, and that is spirituality, writing, healing. Not so much doing readings, to be honest with you guys. However, readings can get to someone's soul energy and help you to understand yourself instead of fortune telling. That's never what I wanted to be. So finally I was onto something with myself. The lies, who told these lies about me, and I used to worry, why do people do that? And why do people think that? And why do people say that? What's their motive? You know? No, it just doesn't matter to me. Family, old friends, they're old patterning, you know. Not all of my old friends who are listening, but there are some that, you know, it's just they're going in their own way, and that's fine. But they're still in the same roundabout circle, still not happy with their life and still doing menial tasks. Oh well, it's life, isn't it? That's what people say. No, it isn't. That's not life. That's just barely surviving. So I thought of every space And this is what I want you to do. Write down on your piece of paper or whatever you've got. What is every space that I give my energy away to? Everything. Do I give my energy away to my friends, to Facebook, to just nonsense? Do I worry about things incessantly? Do I worry about what other people think? Am I worried about getting in trouble? Do I hate my job? What are all the things that I'm wasting my energy on? You can see how it starts to build up and around us, right? And I flipped it. So I thought of all of these things and I flipped it around. And my family, their thoughts of my life, their laughter, their inside jokes, it just doesn't no longer emotionally cripple me. You know, people would do this as well. You just be emotionally hurt and crippled for some time, right? Because you actually believe the bad stuff people say about you and not the good stuff. And let me tell you, no one else is really going to give that to you. This positive action and move forward in your confidence and your energy is totally up to you. It's a decision that you just get to. It's a determination that you're just never going to let anyone do that again. And then the confidence just comes back to you. It was always there. It was just stomped by all of these responsibilities and issues and problems and people's things and doubts and worries and insecurities and projections and hurts and trauma and past life stuff. And it's just like trying to stop you. So people who are more beautiful or funny or smart, where I used to be, I wish I could be that. Now I'm just like, oh, great, hi. They get a wave, they get a blessing. Good luck to you. Instead of, should I look like that? Or should I become more like her? Or should I model things on her business, etc.? Right? So all of that was happening. So taking your power back is part of the biggest change your entire life is going to undergo. By doing this, your body and mind will sharpen. And as you focus inwardly and let go of others, you will start to see what you can do, right? So there it is. Take your power back. It's the biggest change your whole life will be, okay? It'll mean inspecting your brain of where you're letting things go to all these other places and say, no, I'm not going there. No, that's not helping me. No, that's not worth it. No, I'm not going to look at that. I'm looking at this. This is my life. This is where I want to go with it. What's the greatest thing for you that you would always want to have in your life? What are you really good at? You know, are you sitting there in doubt? Oh, I don't know if it's good enough. Stop all of that stuff because you're unique to you. If I did that, none of you would know me, you know? And I didn't want to do it about people knowing me. It was more about if I could help one person and that had a ripple effect to all of these other people, then that was a good job. That was well done, okay? And that just turns out that there's a lot more than one person that is helped, which is amazing. But it's where I set my intention. I also set my intention on family coming forward. People who are part of my soul group, if that makes sense. So we would all grow together and help each other on the earth. So, if you're confident in yourself, if you're confident in you, and which is done by all the things that I'm talking about, then you can be confident in absolutely anything that you want to do. It's going to be easier than ever for you to do what you need to do. It's going to be easier to feel confident than, or say you're confident at riding a bike, right? Then if you're confident in yourself, you can do that. Plus you could do makeup tutorials because you like makeup. Or you could do photography because you really like photography. Or get that film thing going. Why? Because you're confident enough to do it. Because you're focused on yourself. So therefore, the doorway opens to many different avenues. because you're no longer limited to just what you know. You know, you're not limited to anything other than what your mind is telling you. So you need to start working with things that you love and you know about. This is a part of your business sort of advice as well. Start with things that you know about, that you love first, right? So you can focus all of your energy on what you really are driven to do, what you feel really determined to share, okay? Things that you're really passionate about, things that you would never get tired of talking about. So for me, I wanted to help people help themselves. I wanted to show there's a different way to spirituality. It wasn't all about readings and fortune tellings and spooky stuff. Okay, I wanted to take the fear out of the so-called New Age. To me, these are ancient practices. But I wanted to take the fear out of it completely and show you that you can do it and it's easy. And it was more about who you are as a soul, right? Who you are as a soul, why you've chosen to do the things that you do as well. We all have hardships. We all have trauma. We all feel at one point or another that we are being cursed or that only God favors people who go to church. That's how I thought. That's what I thought my whole life. I don't go to church, so I'm being cursed, you know. This feeling of always being wrong doesn't even matter about church or whatever, or God or anything, but it's doing wrong, right? Always doing wrong. It connects with your confidence and also what you decide to do with your life. So if you feel like it's wrong deep down, you feel like it's bad, no one's going to like it, you feel like you can't tell your family about what you really want to do, don't worry, you're in the right place. Okay? Spirituality, this is for me, I'm just talking about this for me, became another set of rules and standards and of course judgments. I didn't think it should be that way. It didn't feel right to me. Unfortunately, many turn away from exploring further because of fear of going someplace when they die that's eternally painful. I don't want to get into a religious debate with anybody. I have been in religious communes myself. I have been brought up Baptist, and my father now turned to being a Catholic. But I've lived with Hutterites and Amish and Mennonite people. So yeah, I don't want to get into a religious debate, but I understand what goes on. So many people turn away because they're afraid of what's going to happen when they die if they don't listen to what they've been told their whole life. And even those who find me and they still go to church, and believe me, I've got a few of them. One of them is a pastor's wife. They find me and they can't tell anybody about it. I find that so sad. Because if they did, they're going to be rejected. Doesn't that tell you something about where you're going? If your church is going to reject you for having a happy and joyful, spiritual, fully spiritual life, that must tell you something about what you're going to, what you're believing. Because when you're having a happy and joyful life, don't you feel that that's God shining right through you? Because that's what it is. He doesn't go anywhere. We don't go somewhere to reach God. He's with us all the time, shining through us. And our heart is what matters in the whole thing. So it doesn't matter what you believe. It really doesn't. If you're going to church, God bless you. You know, fantastic. If that makes you happy, if you're doing your spiritual stuff, if you're a Wiccan, if you're a pagan, if you're a Jew, whatever you are, whatever you believe in. A lot of Muslim people, they connect with angels. You know, the Latter-day Saints connect with angels as well, right? But it doesn't matter what you believe in. What matters is how you feel. If you're going home from worship and you feel like crap, that tells you. But if you're leaving, you've been watching something spiritual and then you leave and you feel like, wow, or you feel confident, or someone's trying to help you somehow and you feel inspired, then that's the right thing to be, right? That's what that's what the angels, that's what God, that's what the universal energy wants for everybody, is for you to actually understand that you're always in control. Always. So if what you do in any sense of the word makes you feel calm, at peace, settled and happy and strong and empowered, capable, supported, comfortable, inspired, accepting, confident, healed, then you need to keep right on doing it and keep right on growing with that energy. But if you feel fear, if you're afraid of what happens when you die, if you are living your life in fear, paranoia, scared, fearful, things that are happening to you, you're afraid of what's going to happen to you, if you're not sleeping, if you're feeling sick to your stomach with the thought of going to work, if you're afraid of not having work and so you're staying where you are, if you're in an abusive situation and you're just staying there because it's the right thing to do, so you think the right thing, even if it's killing you, there's hope for you, there's hope for you, there's help for you, there's assistance, there's guidance, but you have to just say to yourself that you can do it. And if you decide that you can do it, then there is going to be so much help available for you. Your whole life is going to change. People will come forward like you won't believe because you're finally allowing the help to come forward as well. So, when you're thinking about your life and you work a normal job, you can still do the things that you love, which could turn into your full-time occupation and bring you more freedom and the ability to work from any place, anywhere in the world. No longer do you have to remain in one state because you've got to go to work. You can live absolutely wherever you please. So, take me for example, here in the United States from Australia, and moved over to the UK for a couple of years as well for a big nightmare. Right? But it was lessons. Everything is lessons. Everything's experience. And then you alter, you adjust, and you go through those experiences and you shift your awareness to suit. Having confidence is going to come from your determination to never go back to the way things were because it wasn't working. To actually open yourself up to giving yourself a try. Focusing directly on where you're going on your path, right? Regardless of who's trying to drag you off of it. And these are all things you just need to ask yourself why you let that happen, right? It's just a matter of working with these things. So before I get into the next little part of this, I just want to ask you guys if you have any questions. So I'm going to questions about what we're talking about. So I'm going to put the chat back up for a moment. Okay. See if I can push it back here. Okay, so I'm just going to try to... okay, so some people are late. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about what I've been talking about? Okay. Lillian's in Starbucks. That's so cool. Yep. Everybody, the replay is going to be there. It's sometimes good to watch the replay anyway. Do you have any questions about what I was talking about? I'm not doing messages today because this is a webinar. This is a webinar. So what you do, Katie? So what you do, Katie, is you focus on something that you really love. And all you do is focus on what you love. Yeah. Yep. And so if it's makeup or something like that, and you're like, okay, I want to do makeup, then focus on that. Or photography, or filming stuff, or maybe your animals. Everybody loves their animals, right? So, animal pages are huge, especially on Facebook, etc. We're going to get more into the business side of stuff in a minute, but finding something and just starting at that place it expands to lots and lots of other things that you didn't know that you could do as well, right? So it's really good to just start somewhere, okay? With me, people wanted readings. I started with readings. That wasn't something that I really wanted to do, to be honest with you. But I knew that I was good at it, you know. And from doing the readings, it started to develop into channeling and healing and all kinds of things like that. Hey, Davina from Sydney. What pushed you to get to the place of wholehearted acceptance in who you are? Yeah, well, what I said was, hey, Janice, basically what it took was forgetting anybody and anything else and really examining all of those things. So taking your time with it, of course, but you get to a point where you just don't, it's not worth it to you to be stressing about all the same old things that we stressed about, you know, and worried about and thought about. And knowing yourself and accepting yourself means that you have to accept yourself for everything that you've done with forgiveness, with understanding of who you were at that time. And yes, I did. I sat there and I wrote things down and I kept journals for years. Things would still come up to trigger, you know, and sometimes things come up to trigger you. And that's okay. When that happens, you just have to have an awareness of what happens, you know. So I pushed myself to be in a place of wholehearted acceptance because nobody else was going to do that for me. There was nobody that was going to say, come on, you can do it, Becky, and support me. Nobody was going to do that. So we had to figure it out for ourselves. Yeah, that's right, Wayne. You have all of these things, but maybe you're focusing on too many things at once, you know? And maybe you don't post enough, or maybe you don't make any videos yourself, or maybe you don't keep on keeping on top of it even when nothing's coming in. That's what happens, you know? So that's what happens. People give up because they're like, oh, I'm doing this and nobody sees it. You don't know how to market yourself. Something else that we can talk about as well. You can't give up on this whole thing. When you're working for yourself, is it hard to start a business? No, it's not. Actually, you just need your phone to start a business. Yeah. Yeah, I have come a super long way, and I've learnt along the way talking to you guys for years now. There are still things that are uncomfortable for me to talk about. Cut off this year from the career I chose for years. Okay, well, see, I hope that that's a good thing as well. When you're cutting yourself away from something you've done for a long time. I used to work in sales, retail, and jewelry, and buys and loans and all that sort of stuff. And I worked at a school as a high school tutor, and I didn't even finish high school. So how the heck did I get that job? Right? I just believed I had it. I just went in there. I'm like, well, you guys need me. You know, they rang me back. They're like, I guess we do. Oh, okay. So yeah, so people are stopping. And this is what else is happening because of the pandemic, all that stuff. Videos. It definitely is key. I was a tow truck driver. I mean, there's stories, right? I worked in a school as a volunteer for many years while my children were going to school. They couldn't get away from me. They're like, there's Mum. Yes, I'm right here. Mum, can we have some money for school? You know, and I'm like, no. You know, like I'd jump out and I'd be in the back of the classroom. I was with my kids for years at school. And, you know, at the canteen, I was the lady at the canteen with my friends. My friend was the manager and I was the lady. And basically I went in there so I could have free lunch and also free snacks and stuff. Yep, I was always at the school. So I got all the snacks and I'd get the snacks ready and I'd be happy. There's food everywhere, right? And my kids couldn't get away from me. I feel sorry for them. Like I was right up there till high school. And then one's like stuff this. I'm going to the high school at the other end of town. Mum's going to be working at this school. I'm going over here. I've had enough of her through my whole life being on me at school. So it was really funny. So I did a lot of menial jobs. But I was pregnant with my third son, standing in the kitchen, in the canteen, working with my big belly and all that, which was another excuse to eat. Yeah, and so it was, they did. Well, when they're your own children, I don't think your own children are that, happy to have mum around. Other kids were. I had all the kids following me around everywhere. And then working in the high school, I worked with the special needs children and in the flexible learning program. We did some stuff. I'm getting the kids out of school. We were doing things together. We were doing things around the schoolyard. Right. We were doing all kinds of stuff together. But I'm just telling you guys, that wasn't the teaching side of it and helping. That was exactly what I loved doing, right? But doing all of this with you guys and having my own business with it, it didn't work at first. I had to build who I was, and you have to build who you are with trust, People have to trust you, or they don't, if they don't trust you, then you're doomed. So you've got to start how you mean to finish. You've got to start correctly, and you've got to own your business. You've got to own it. It's talking about everything in your life. Own your business. Stay away from negative people. Stay away from negative situations. Stay away from anyone who's telling you can't. Definitely just throw yourself into it with true trust and stop worrying about all of the different details, because that's another thing, a procrastination technique that you might have, or an excuse that you might have. I can't do it because who knows me? Nobody knows me. I can't do it because I've got no money. I can't do it. You've got a phone. If you've got the phone and the internet, you can make a business. Telling you, I did it old school way. I did it, and I didn't even know how to copy and paste when I started. So I had to teach myself the computer, the typing, the coding of websites. My old DevineMiracles.com is all done by coding. It's not done by Wix or anything like that. It's just the old school way, which took me a super long time. I think there's something like 150,000 files that are dedicated to DevineMiracles.com. And everything is in folders and this and that and the other all through the website. I had to do it all myself. So this is why I know about your Wix and your Shopify and all of those easy to use. That's like a piece of cake. I could have a website up for you guys in 5 minutes, and also teach you how to run all the way behind the scenes. 5 minutes it would take me. I'm serious. So doing all of these sorts of things and just wanting to have fun, that's what I'm here for. Definitely a spiritual warrior. And I know you all are as well. That's why I got emotional before. I'm like, there are people that are disabled and they are willing to help work on you with healing. They're working with you on your growth and your journey and pushing past all of your blocks. My friend is push past paralysis because she's paralyzed. She's in a wheelchair. And she's still trying to help people. So we don't have an excuse. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you other than giving into the thoughts and opinions of other people your whole life. And that's what's wrong with you. Not what they're saying, but what you're doing to yourself. I'm glad you enjoy this. I've been wanting to do this for ages. Just have a normal talk, but it's always you in your own way. That's right. This is my husband there with his amazing story, which we also want to share the full thing with you guys at some point as well. But yeah, when you start to analyze yourself in a loving and compassionate way, and you're like, that's rubbish, they've said that about me, I know it's not true. I know where my heart lies. I know what I meant to do. I know where I'm coming from. You know, all of these things. This is what you've got to do. And I'm telling you now, from, if I could show you a photo of myself when I was like 12, all of you would be in tears, right? Because I'm feeling it. But if you saw this particular photograph of me, you would see where I was in my life, right? And where I was so sad inside of myself. Like, so I know what you guys feel. I do. I've done it myself, right? And you guys have got me all emotional today, but it's my own fault. But it's like, to look at myself is actually makes me get upset, because I knew how hopeless that was. Like, there was nobody that was going to help. And my hair was horrible. Clothes were like something off the street. Like, it was just like, my mum let me get around like horribly. She didn't care about like what other people thought, obviously. It was just like terrible, abusive situations. And when I think about that girl in that picture, it just feels like a completely different person, completely different. It's like some other life. And it feels amazing to be away from it. I'm sad for that person because I know where they were, right? So I know what they were dealing with. I know what they were putting up with. I know how little sleep they had their whole life. I know, what they were thinking, and they were just trying to, and I always used to say to myself, there's always someone that's got it worse. Everybody says that too. There's always someone that's got it worse, so what am I worrying about? You have to worry about you. That's what you have to do. Doesn't matter, how anything is, as long as you are focused, like a fine-tuning attunement of yourself or something, where you're like a narrow focus on where you're going. Having fun still, going out, having fun, doing the things that you want to do, connecting with people that you want to connect with, laughing, having adventures, but okay, so people think they have to be completely healed before they do something. That's just a joke. That's something that you tell yourself, because when you're working with any kind of spiritual work, for example, and healing work as well, you're never going to be completely anywhere, because we're all on a journey. We don't reach a destination. We just keep on changing and growing and shifting and learning as we go along. There's no destination other than excitement, right? Oh, thank you, Janice. You're never done with your healing. So you can't just say, oh, wait till I'm perfect and then I'll do it, right? Right, we all have the stories, etc. Self-love. It should be the first thing that we're taught, but the self-love is the first thing that's stripped away. Self-love is stripped out of you, right? Being a perfectionist and all of that is just another word for anxiety, okay? It's not about being perfect. It's about being you, however that is. And then you doing the best that you can with what you have at the time. Yes, of course, working with healing, excuse me, when you're working with others with healing, of course it's good that you've already figured yourself out in your own emotions. But you have to give yourself the advice that you would give other people. So whoever was asking that question about wanting to be healed first, etc. Yep, I know how to do it, Rhonda. I'll talk about that soon. Okay, Angela. Excellent, with positive transformation. We have to speak up for ourselves. We have to own ourselves. We have to be in a place of compassion for yourself, understanding of yourself, forgetting, like putting a wall around yourself of shielding and saying to yourself, Nobody gets in without my permission. So who am I letting in? Who do I want to have in my life? Yes, happy birthday, Angela. Right? Yeah. Underdog, that's for sure. I am the underdog of underdogs, supporting the underdogs become number one. Right? So, you have to build a wall around yourself. It's not selfish. It's not stupid. It's not anything. Okay? Other than a protection for yourself and your energy as you progress, as you learn, as you heal, as you grow, as you shift, as you change, and you get better and better and better. Your self-talk, the way that you see yourself, and the way the words come out of your mouth about yourself. I always do that. That always happens to me. I'm always sick. I'm always tired. I'm always stressed. Okay, well now you are. So have a listen to how that sounds. I am always stressed, and your body just goes into stress, right? No more. So we have to change it all around. Okay. Right. So you speak differently, and you don't have to speak differently to anybody else but yourself. So you're saying, I've got this. I'm supported. Doesn't matter what I do, it's going to be successful. This is going to be easy. I need to stop listening to everybody else and start listening to myself. Right? What advice would I give somebody else in this situation? Okay, I need to take my own advice as well. Never give up on yourself, because nobody else is going to do this for you, and that's what I'm saying. Nobody else is going to make your business happen for you. They can give you ideas like I am. And I mean, I can help probably a lot more than other people would be able to, because I'm not going to charge you to help you. Right? So I can help and show you from example. But you've got to do it. If someone's trying to sell things, if you're trying to sell things, then you've got to market yourself in the right way, or you're not going to get seen. And you can't sell something if nobody knows who the heck you are. So we're going to do all that as well. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Okay, so I'm going to go back into the webinar now. So to the second part. If you guys have to go, you can always come back and catch back in here as well. All right, so I'm just going to turn the chat off for a second. And that way, okay. All right, so I have the chat off, so if you're putting your questions and stuff up, I'm not going to see it till later. All right, I need a drink real quick. Well, that's finished. Go to my water. All right. Okay, next part. Okay. Okay, so when you're thinking about your life, and like I said before, you work a normal job, and you can do the things that you love that can turn into your full-time occupation. So this is what we were talking about. No longer will you have to remain in any place just for that work or that job. So when you're working online, everybody can do it. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're just doing art for fun, whether you're just playing music, but you're really passionate about music, whether it's speaking, whether it's writing, whether it's channeling, whether it's angels. It really doesn't matter what you love, whether it's animals itself or healing or anything. If you're passionate about what you're doing, you'll be able to make a living out of it. In fact, not just a living, but a growing, right? And changes. And I mean, my kids, they're not spiritual at all, but they say, well, we won't have to worry about that because mum can just pull that right out of her butt. She's going to get the money somewhere. It's coming in. We don't know how she does it. All we know is she goes into that room and we hear music coming out of there, and there's feathers in there, and there's stomping, and there's drums, and mum's manifesting something. We've never had to worry, and they haven't. We've had nothing, but we've had we've had stuff, growing up, because all of a sudden something will arrive. They've seen this their whole life. They'll tell you that. So if you're not passionate about what you're doing, this is very important, this part that I'm going to tell you right now, okay? If you are not passionate about what you're doing, you will slowly destroy your entire body, your entire physical self. You will destroy yourself, okay? You will start getting problems. You will start getting older. You will start looking older. You will have back problems. You will have nerve problems. You will have sciatic pain. You will have problems with digestion. Your hips will be sore. You'll have injuries, okay? When you are not passionate about what you're doing and you know you're in the wrong place, either at work or at home, if you know you're in the wrong situation for yourself, your body will deteriorate. This is what's happening to a lot of you people out there, right? You're wondering why you've got issues. All of your body is connected with a series of emotions, and it stretches into other areas of your life. I'm not going to get into that too deeply, but I'm going to tell you that if you don't do this, if you don't decide for yourself that you can do anything, doesn't matter what it is, then you will never be able to fully heal your physical body, your brain, your mind, anything, because it will just deteriorate under the pressure. And that's exactly what's happening to it. So years of stress, years of anxiety, years and years of worry and consuming yourself with what other people are doing and thinking and saying, and how could they say that, and why do they think that, and why are they do, and she's going out with him, and she was going out with me, and he was going out with me, and she's going out with him now, and she's just betrayed me, and all that crap, drama. Years and years of it. Just the little stories and the little situations and no support and everybody against each other and everyone jealous and everyone, all that stuff doesn't happen. Believe me, it does not happen when you're a confident person. Sure, people are going to scoff at you, but you just don't even care because you don't even know. It's not in your face. You don't know, right? Now, when you're starting a business, right now, it's never been easier. You have to develop this confidence in yourself. If you imagine the most successful person, say someone's a billionaire, okay? Let's just say, for example, we have a billionaire over here and we have a supermodel over here, okay? Right? The billionaire, I can guarantee you right now, never gave up on anything that he was doing. Other people call him selfish, and he's a jerk, and he's a narcissist, and he's la 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 la. But he kept on going, and he kept on going, and he kept on going because what he wanted to achieve in his life was worth more than the other people's thoughts of them. Right? The other people's wants, the other people's needs, the other people's desires. You should do it this way. You should do it that way. And he just kept on doing it his way. And the end result? Hotels, money, trips, lavish lifestyle, because he wanted that more than he wanted to listen to that. Like, it doesn't matter who the billionaire is, right? The supermodel. I've worked with supermodels. They've come to me. I've worked with people who are famous. I've worked with actors, right? I'm not going to say who they are, but I've worked with them. Guess what? The supermodel, the actor, the person that's up there, they had the determination to get up there, right? They kept on going for it. They got lucky breaks. They got noticed somewhere. Someone pointed them out, whatever. But guess what? The thoughts and opinions and, expectations of other people crippled them. So when they come for help, these people are, some of the most handsome or beautiful women and handsome men that you could actually ever see, because they're actors and supermodels, right? They don't even see it. They don't even see it. They're like, oh no, I've got to be this and I've got to be skinnier and I've got to be that and I've got to get a boob thing going on and I need to get my butt implants, and I'm like, what? Oh, well, you've got to stay in this. So it had nothing to do that. So the supermodel and the actors and all that, it had nothing to do with their sheer determination. If they got to this point, it's because they started to become crippled by the expectations of other people instead of saying, I think it's my time to leave this situation and go into something else. Or maybe I'm supposed to teach others how to become smart and strong and act and, maybe, and like these people are just like normal people. They have a lot of problems going on with them. They don't have faithful partners or anything. You'd think, wow, you look like that. Why wouldn't you have a faithful partner? No. These people have normal relationship issues like many other people have. And self-esteem issues like you wouldn't believe. Probably some of the hardest ones are the most beautiful people. They're the hardest ones to, you're like, what is wrong with you? They don't see it. All they see is ugly. Need to be better. Need to do more. That's what they see. And it's probably more intense because they've made it very, very quickly before they've had a chance to stabilize themselves, get to know themselves. So on one hand, you have this person who we all look up to in the newspapers and the magazines and on the movies and stuff, and they're miserable. On the other hand, you have an independent person who just kept on pushing. They're not miserable at all. They didn't care about anybody's expectations because they had their own. This is what you have to have too. And it's like, you can do it. Or it's actually exciting because there's the energy there. There's the prospect there of you being able to do it. All you have to do is train your mind to tell you that you can do it, and it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. All the other excuses you have to say, it's just an excuse I'm giving myself. Why am I doing that to myself? What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of not being liked and this and this. Okay, then you have to keep on retraining yourself a little bit more until all of that goes away and you suddenly feel that push and determination to do something, and nothing's going to stop you, not even yourself. Okay? You're not even going to stop you from being you. Right? You can do this without money. You need a phone. That's about it. Or a computer, laptop, iPad. That's about it. You don't need money with marketing anymore. You don't need to advertise yourself straight away. There's ways to do it, and I will talk to you about it as well. So this is just a brief outline. If you want to start a hobby that you love and share it with people online and create it into a business, if you have ideas, this may help you. All right, but first make sure that you've gone through the list of your confidence stuff. And remember that your confidence will grow and grow and grow and grow where you don't really care about anything or anyone's opinions. It's not about them. It's their opinions of you. Now, when you get to that point, the sky is the limit. The doors are going to open and blow off, right? That's what's going to happen. Start off with small goals. You want to make a certain amount of money and just be happy with that. Or you want to make a whole lot of money and be happy with that. But these are the ways that you got to do it. And again, this is just a brief outline. I'm not going into depth about marketing. If you want to work with me on mentoring and marketing, January, book yourself in. We can go right through it from the bottom to the top. So start a page on Facebook. You're basically going to have to come up with a name for yourself or your business or your page and start a Facebook page. Don't worry about a Facebook group. It's not going to be as good for you. Start a page about what you love, okay? Remember that you can share with your friends list, but most of the time your friends that you know are not going to be your biggest fans. I'm sorry to say, but they're not. They won't be your biggest followers. It's not because they don't love you. It's just they've known you before And it just seems to be the way. They know you before, you start to do something for yourself, you start to smarten up, you start to work more consistently on what you're doing with your business, with your life. You start working on these things more. It seems to me that people fall away, and that's okay. So you will be creating a whole new group of people who are like-minded. This is what your target is, people who are on the same wavelength. There's no point asking a biker to join a, something to do with floral bloody hair pieces or something, right? You got to pick your market. So the people who are like-minded. For me, it'd be like wellness and mindfulness and meditation and spirituality and angels and channeling and all that stuff. Aura, how to read your aura, pendulums and all the things that are spiritual. Okay, so if you create a new group on Facebook, a page on Facebook that you're the administration for, that you're starting, that you're beginning, remember that you can share it with some of your friends, but probably not all of your friends are going to be interested, okay? And that's all right. But you will be creating this new group of people, a new place for yourself to go every single day, a new way of treating your Facebook page, because otherwise you're just wasting time reading everybody else's stuff. You go into your page and you start creating some stuff. You start thinking of colors. You start thinking of the vibration that you want to put out. You start making daily updates for everybody to actually start, oh, there's something positive over here. I'm going to go watch that. So you will be creating a page of people who are like-minded. They will do most of the work for you. So you'll share it with some friends. And then you might share the page, maybe you'll ask your friends to share the page with people who are, into whatever it is that you're into, before you start worrying about money and ads and all that sort of stuff. So animals, music, photography, self-help, guidance, angels, whatever it is, start with a page. And in most cases, it's best to keep it separate from your own personal page. Start a whole new Facebook. Invite those people who are your friends that you know are going to be interested and want to be interested and want to be supportive. Sometimes it's not family. Sometimes it's not even the friends you expect. And start up a new Facebook for yourself, a profile that is actually that page or something like that, right? Create it for yourself. Bring everybody over there. Now, you may have about 20 people. I couldn't believe it when I got 20 people on my Facebook page. 20 people I was having a party. So invite these people, and then you start sharing every day, and you share and you keep going. On Facebook, there's a really good thing where you can schedule posts. You could make 7 posts on a Sunday, and you could make them post themselves every single day if you had to go away or had to do something. You can schedule the post. They'll just open up at 9 a.m. every morning. There'll be a new post, right? Do not make the mistake of criticizing your work, your posts, your videos, or anything like that. Don't make the mistake of saying, I don't think that's very good. I'm not going to put that. Don't do that. Just put it up. Put up your thoughts. Put up what you were feeling. Put up the thought of the day. Put up the feeling that you had, the dream you had last night, the photograph that you took, your animals. Start an animal page. I'm telling you, it goes crazy. We're trying to get our huskies out there and, getting more people involved with the huskies. We're doing the same thing. There are certain pages that, there are certain things that you can do with Facebook. For example, connecting with Twitter, connecting with Instagram, connecting with YouTube, and you need to cross all of these together. I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of back work that you do. There's a lot of work that I do that's not for anybody else other than my work, my business. Behind the scenes, social posts, getting newsletters together, getting, the monthly sort of schedule going so that everyone can see what I'm thinking of doing each month. to do all of your posts, to do the videos here. And then I have Patreon. So if anyone is not a patron, I'd really like it if you would just go over to my Patreon page and be a part of it if you want to learn more, because I do webinars that are free pretty much every month. And you get meditations, you get longer readings, different talks and conversations, and it's only $5. So that's probably the platform I'm going to be mostly on. So I wanted you guys to know that in case something happens here. But anyway, so you start sharing daily and you keep on going and you partner it with Twitter and Instagram, etc. So you want to have logins for all of those things that are all connected to the name of your page. Your YouTube, my YouTube is Devine Miracles. My Facebook page is Devine Miracles. My Twitter is Devine Miracles. My Patreon is Devine Miracles. Everything's Devine Miracles. And my website's devinemiracles.com. And now I have BDevineOnline.com, which I created because it was easier to use for people and I could do discounts for you, right? It was different when you set up in the old way of websites. It's different because even the PayPal button itself has to be created. Like the coding has to be placed into your website for that button to show up. It can be really... So we don't want to do it that way if we can stop it. So, you know, you don't need this website yet, but everything has to be the same. I'm BDevine from Devine Miracles. So I'm not going to have a website that says, you know, Jolly Roger or something, right? You would. That could be another start for me. Who knows? All right. So you want to cross promote everything. And you partner all of that stuff. Yes, I said that. So you're looking for a certain audience. You know, you're not going to get the bikers to look at fairies. I mean, some of them might, but that's not your audience. All right? So as I said to you before, some of your friends, family and that are not going to be your biggest followers. It's going to be people, you guys all know me now, right? But you weren't on my friends list years ago. I didn't even know who you were. You found me either through a video or a post I made or from a friend who might have recommended you. That's how you came across me, right? And that's what ends up happening. And you get all excited because the momentum starts coming. And it's not about money. In the beginning, don't expect that you're going to be making $300, $400, $500 a week. Right? It's not that simple, but it can be. I know people who do. I know people who make that a day, right? And there's different ways that you can go about that, but people need to trust you first. So establish things in an easy way first. So make sure that you, if you are creating ads on Facebook, later on when you're starting to try to get people to be interested in your website or your business or your page, you want to create ads yourself. Don't let Facebook do it for you. That's another big story, but just quickly go in and change the parameters of who your page is going to reach. You can choose, I think it's about 16 different countries, and you can choose, I think, about 60 different keywords. Now, if you let Facebook do it for you, they won't put any of that in there. Now, I can generate my ad to reach, I think the most that I got was 600 million people. And that's no joke, I can reach 600 million people if I start doing my ad campaigns. Because you need 10,000 people to generate one sale. You see? Numbers are important. It's not that they're going to stay on your page, but the more people that come to your page, the more traffic, the more chances of a sale, or the more chances of them buying something or connecting with you or buying a service later on, right? So if you are doing everything correctly and marketing yourself, this is just Facebook that I'm talking about right now, and it cross promotes to everywhere else. But if you're creating ads for yourself on Facebook, Go into the ad management and set the parameters yourself. Do not let Facebook do it for you. You're wasting your time and your money. Okay, so anyway, that's something if you needed help with, we could work on that as well. Put keywords and hashtags on everything. So this is just for some of you guys, even for your regular posts that you might put on Facebook and you're not really trying to go anywhere with anything, still hashtag everything, because people will start to get to know who you are anyway without even trying to do anything. You do not need a website. As I said, in 2009, when I started, I didn't have they didn't have the same things that they have now. So they didn't have Wix, they didn't have Shopify, or if they did, it wasn't something that I could see. A year before I started my own website, I did a whole year of internet marketing and worked for myself doing internet marketing, and really learned how to do backlinks and never have to advertise for anything. So I learned how to do it, and believe me, it's hard work. But you're working for yourself. You're not working for anybody else. But you're home. You're doing something. You're feeling good about it. Like, it's exciting, right? So there are ways to get, so divinemiracles.com, for example, you know, if you go on to, if you actually just Google me, you will find like Divine Miracles or BDevine. You will find multiple places that are just weird names where it comes up, or a video of mine comes up, or a link comes up, or this comes up, because I worked for an entire year before I launched on making sure that my name or my website or whatever was backlinked all around the internet. So things would always come back to there. I didn't have to pay for Google Ads. I wish I had the money to do that, but I didn't. And it taught me heaps about marketing and where people go wrong and then people give up, right? So anyway, so now it's easier to do everything, right? You don't have to get a website at all yet. You can even sell things through Facebook and doing Facebook lives and, oh, here, this is for $5 and here, you can buy this right now. And, you know, people are going live like that and auctioning. That was nothing. We couldn't do that before. So make a plan of action. Don't worry about how other people are doing things. Decide on what you're selling or doing or you're offering, and start offering free services, okay? You can't sell if nobody knows you or trusts you. So once a week, you have a Q&A time, or you give a free reading if that's what you're doing, or you send out, okay, to the 10 lucky people, you're going to get some distant healing, get some feedback, get some testimonies, get some people who are like, wow, that really worked, that was amazing. And telling other people, your best marketing is other people's mouths, what they're saying, what they're telling everybody else. So decide on what you're doing it. Remember, you're focused on being a new and confident person. You're not the old person who's going to get scared off. When you start this, you're starting this how you mean to finish. There's no point starting anything and then quitting on everybody, right? You never know who's watching you. You never know who's listening or when they're listening. You never know who's being helped by you. You never know, right? It comes later on, you'll find out. But if you quit, but you know, you can't do that to people. So you've got to keep on going, even if you're going through your own stress. That's when you grow the most, because you're going through it as well. That's why this whole year, there's no way you were not going to see me. I was going to push through this no matter what happens, right? Because how can you? How can I? How could I not? I mean, things had to be changed around and things had to be fixed, you know, and things had to be different. But I had to be here, right? So decide on things. Remember, you're focusing on being new. You're not focused on the old that didn't work. You're focusing on this empowerment. You'll be creating some videos, and you don't even have to be on video. Don't even have to be on the camera, right? But make compilation videos, fun things with words that go across, right? Make compilation videos. It's very easy. Use your phone. Your phone can do anything these days. Apps are everywhere. You can go to even sit at McDonald's and use their Wi-Fi. I've done that 1,000 times when I've had no internet, right? And who cares? You put the video up. You do not sit there editing your video for 2-3 weeks and then decide that you didn't like it. Those are the very videos, like I make a video for you guys. It's just the video, right? Because I couldn't be, not that I don't know what I'm doing, but I can't be bothered sitting there editing myself and then sitting there hating on it and being upset with it. So I'd rather just get it out to you guys and it's done. It's out there. And you guys tend to love the very things that I'm like, ooh, not sure whether I should do that. You guys love it. I don't know. Right? So never assume anything, because there's going to be somebody who's just like, I love that. That's awesome. Off you go. If you're offering advice of some kind, this is what I was talking about. Once a week, answer questions for free. When you first start, the way that I started to get to know everybody was I offered one free question to everybody, anybody and everybody. And then it started. And then I'm like, oh my God. Like there was like, at one point in my life, I had 400 emails of one question that I had to get through. I'm like, I've started a monster, you know, and it was ridiculous. But that's, people got to know what I was offering, right? And what I was going to be was different to any other psychic. That was going to be me. It is me. Different to any other woo-woo person or whatever. It's not about fortune telling to me. It's about what you're actually really asking me, right? What your soul is doing, etc., etc. So, yeah, so people would ask this one question and I was like, how am I going to do this? I can't do it anymore, right? So I just did it for people for their birthday or whatever. So when it's your birthday, you get a free reading. I still do that when it's your birthday. You can still email me and still get a birthday free question. I still do that. And it worked because everybody was telling everybody, I guess. And suddenly there was more people on my page. Suddenly people started to come to YouTube. It took me a year to get up the courage to do YouTube. So I understand what that's like, right? But before that, I was just focused on posting on Facebook, etc. And then the whole live thing came, and that was a whole different thing altogether. So if you're offering advice of some kind, once a week, answer questions for free, even if it's on your page. Free Q&A for 1 hour only. Go for it. Bang. People start asking questions. This spreads the word. You cannot focus on being wrong. What if I get it wrong? What if it's not the right? No, if your intention is in the right space and you're channeling your answers, then it's never wrong. It's what they need to hear at the time, right? What decisions they make after they speak to you is totally up to them. And if you're feeling responsible for all of your clients and that, you're going to burn out quicker than you know. No, it's separate from you. You're friendly, but you're not everybody's, friend. You can't be. You're running a business, right? So you got to do everything in that way. Everything's got to be in that way. So get your group engaging with each other as well. And stand by your work. It's your business. You run it how you want to run it. You don't let anyone tell you what you should do. You're running it this way. This is how it works. These are the terms and conditions. And this is what we do. And I'm here to help. This is what you're telling people. You're here to help them. Right? But no abuse is going to be tolerated at all. Boom. Person's gone. That's it. Don't give any, don't lower your guard like that. All right. So when you're doing this for yourself, you've got to be careful. All right. And you've got to be strong. And you will be, because you're learning your new confidence skills. You're learning how to do it. You're learning how to empower yourself to go where you want to go. But you cannot be worrying about all of this stuff over here all the time. You cannot be sidetracked. I mean, you can get yourself sidetracked, but you got to get yourself right back on, right? So never back down or feel pressured by anyone. It's easy. Shut it off. Don't be checking on people. Don't be asking about people. Don't be randomly messaging people, asking them things or trying to get to sell things or anything like that. You're doing things through your page and through your page only, or through your website. The page goes to the website. The links will all be there. People can see, right? I never used to talk about what you could buy from me before or what you could order or anything like that. And everyone used to say, how come you don't talk about it? You should talk about it. I start talking about it and people are like, why are you talking about that? Get on to the free stuff. So my thing is I just do what I want to do. You know, my thing is that I would really appreciate you all to just don't worry about spending big money, but spend $5 a month and learn, okay? And get a lot out of that $5 a month, believe me, rather than all this other stuff. And I'm just trying to keep it concentrated in one spot. That's all I'm doing at the moment. But I have a lot of things available. You know, you guys all know how to get that now. I don't have to keep on pushing it. There's plenty of things that are on my page, etc. So you simply delete abusers. You don't engage with anybody who's abusive at all, demanding at all. Someone asks you something that you don't feel comfortable in answering, you don't have to answer it either. Sorry, I can't help you. Maybe this person can. Don't feel obliged that you have to do everything, because that's just putting you right back into this person who is doing for everybody all the time and not enjoying your life, your business, your way, your work. So don't defeat yourself before you even start, okay? Don't defeat yourself. So don't tell yourself, I haven't made any sales in a month. It must be doomed. No, dig your heels in and work harder. It's all you can do. Adjust your mindset. Maybe you've been worrying. Maybe you've been stressing out. Adjust your mindset. Go for it again. Do not give up. So going into how can I do it with so many others doing it, and well, it just sets you up to fail immediately. I felt the same way. How could I be doing the same thing that thousands and thousands of others of YouTubers are doing? Because I'm me and they're not me, and you're you and you're not, you know, anyone but you. And you have to allow yourself to shine. It takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of trust, of course. But it takes more about you focusing all of your energy inward rather than spreading yourself really thin everywhere else. It really takes you gathering yourself and saying, no matter who's treated me in what way, I can choose to believe it or I can choose to forget it. And if you choose to forget it, with forgiveness and whatever the hell else you need to do, letting them go, dropping it, deleting it, getting out of their life, whatever. If you can choose to do that, right, then the world is your oyster. If you feel that you're working your butt off for somebody else, making them some money, then you can work for yourself for 8 hours a day and make yourself the same money, or if not more. In fact, when you're working for yourself, there is no limit to what you can receive. No limit. Only what's in your mind. Okay? But when you're working for another job, the only thing you might be able to hope for is a promotion one day. You're just going to get that same money all the time. In your spare time, start with a page or something similar and start setting yourself up with PayPal. And, you know, start to just use PayPal first and integrate yourself with a whole lot of other things later on. Start to get your name that you want to use, either your own name, that's fine, that's great, or a name that you feel is right for you. Start posting every day. Believe in it. Say to yourself every day, wow, the perfect people are going to find my page. It's so easy. It's so much fun. I'm growing, I'm expanding, and you will. There's 75,000 people on Facebook, and there's 40-something thousand people on YouTube. And this has taken me, it should have been a lot easier if I hadn't been suppressed in this whole last year or two. But it's taken me all that time to build into this space. And I didn't spend money on advertisements. If I had have, maybe I would have gotten there quicker. But I had to do it in a way that was comfortable for me as I was going forward. And there was only so much work a person, if this is me, I'm the only person running my whole thing. There's only so much hours in a day. There's only so much work I can do. And it takes time to start to see what works and what doesn't. But don't give up. You will never see me give up. I don't care where I will have to be or what I will have to do. I'll write books. I'll get something out in the paper. I will get something out there if there's no internet. Believe me, they will never stop. No one will ever stop me. My brain is too focused on forward, expansion, knowledge, teach, inspire, move forward. That's just me all the time. And if you get to know me for any length of time, that becomes you as well. And depending on who's had mentoring with me, it becomes you, and you go off and off you go and you're doing your own thing and it's fantastic. And you see miracles happen. Oh my God, there's been so many miracles that have happened here. It's not me. I can hold space for you. Miracles don't come from me, they come from you. Believe me. The angels work with you to create a miracle. And someone else helps you to get you into that space. Fantastic. But you can do it as well. I mean, I've seen miracles you wouldn't believe. So, you are focused on you, remember, as you move forward. 2021, focus on yourself. If you can make something with the world going nuts like this, you can do anything. That's what this year taught me, right? That I could change things, that I could teach, that I could grow my webinars. I could do my art work. And YouTubers can see one of my things on the thing, but I've been doing mandalas and stuff. I didn't know how to even draw a circle. And I've suddenly learned I can just do all this now. It's like I just channeled into something and didn't doubt it and didn't hate it and didn't hate on myself and didn't all that crap we do. You are unique. You have your own way of doing something, so don't feel like you need to do it just like somebody else does it. Do it your way. Never compare yourself or you will never start anything, right? Learn from others. Learn from others, get ideas. That's no problem. But if it's turning into, I can't do it because look at that person, look at her, look at whatever she's doing, look how she speaks. Remember, I turned red, I had bad confidence issues, terrible bad agoraphobia and anxiety, panic attacks to the point where, as I said, it would take me hours to even be able to get out the friggin' door, to do something. That's me, I had my hair all ripped out at one point in my life when I was a teenager, all at the top. So I had all my hair missing and stuff. Imagine that, ladies. Right? It's still, I'm still getting it back. I've got a lot of it now. I've manifested my hair. Right? So just remember, I was nothing in anybody's eyes other than someone to use. Someone that'll come and help you. Someone that'll come and do everything. No more. Tough as nails now. So, learn from others, get ideas, but keep you. That is key. You guys wouldn't like it if I was pretending to be somebody else. This is who I am. You talk to me on the phone, I'm exactly the same way. More laughing, but I'm exactly the same way. Make sure you have a PayPal account for donations that you can also accept and link to people on your videos, and everything hashtagged, remember, everything linked, everything how you want it to be, spreading the links around, etc. And you may want to start for donations of your time, you know. I used to ask for a donation for things. Okay, you want to get a reading? Okay, send me a donation. Some people would send you hardly anything. Some people would be over the top. You'd be like, whoa, you know. So send donations, and it can be connected to all of your pages as well. Very easy to do this. If you can actually run YouTube or look at YouTube or look at Facebook, then you can run your page and do all the work behind the scenes as well. It's super easy. So the biggest part of working your business is to keep going no matter what, right? If something isn't working, you change it. So you've got to try things. If that doesn't really seem to be working, move to something else. Do special deals for people. Do live video. You may only be able to do it on Facebook unless you have a lot of people who are subscribed to you on YouTube. So Facebook will let you go live, which is cool. Do live help or create videos based on what people are asking for. So do polls. What do you want to see? What would you like to learn? What photos do you want me to take? What angels do you want to learn about? You know, and that's what I do. I ask you guys what you want, and then I go from there. It gives me tons of ideas. The worst thing that you can do is set out to fail by not giving yourself a chance and not listening to your own guidance. To heck what your friends and family think. You must own this completely. And that comes from working on your confidence and self-talk every day. In this business, in any business that you're doing, family are probably, I mean, some people have wonderful families, don't get me wrong, and they're going to support you no matter what. But a lot of us have families who would shun or look down on something which is work from home, or look down on someone like me being spiritual, etc. That's not really a job. My dad's an English professor, and you know, he's like, you don't have any education, Becky, what do you know? And it's like, I've got thousands of certificates, but that's not enough. You know, and I've taught my own classes, but that's not enough, because he's traditional. He's super old and stuck in his ways and doesn't understand. And so I don't have to make him see. You don't have to convert anybody here. You don't have to change anybody's way of thinking. This is not about that. This is not about changing someone's mind. It's finding like-minded people who are already interested in what you are interested in. Whether it's huskies, hiking, outdoor adventure, blogging, you know, writing, anything. It doesn't matter. It's definitely usually not, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be all the people that you've used to hang around with. You're going to find new friends, new people, new clients, new situations, a group, a community that looks after each other, like our wonderful group we have on Facebook and also on YouTube, where we all know each other by now and we all look after each other and everybody's kind. And if there's anybody that's being disrespectful or foul-mouthed or a jerk, they're gone, right? Because that's just usually someone who's trolling in. But our regulars, you guys are amazing. You guys all, every single one of you, have so many more potentials than I had, and so much more that you can do. You just don't see it, right? Hopefully now, after just listening to this, and of course I'm going to do this in some other parts as well, but hopefully this has helped you to see where you're going wrong, perhaps, or where you're seeing yourself in a dark light, where you're seeing yourself as the way other people have told you to be, have pushed you to be, have made you feel. You've been in situations where you've been traumatized, and therefore having confidence in yourself is extremely difficult because everything that you've done has always been wrong, and that's part of your survival instinct, was to not make any mistakes, make sure everybody's happy, be responsible for everybody else, take the burdens upon yourself, take the stress on yourself, right? This is what many of you have gone through. So to actually think that you're capable of changing everything in your world, and not only your own life but other people's lives as well, that's difficult for some people to imagine. It's difficult to understand. But the more you begin to see it in yourself, and the more that you begin to work on it, the more your body changes, your physicality changes, your brain changes, your face changes, your skin changes. Everything starts to change, and you're glowing because you're happy, and you're confident, and you don't care what anyone thinks about that. You're not going to let anybody take that away from you ever again. Never. That people have had too much time on you. People have had too much of your time worrying about them, stressing about them, focusing on them, wondering if you fit in or not. No more. It just comes a point in your life where you either say to yourself, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing and go around in circles, in stress because there's just no hope, or I'm going to change something in myself that brings me to a place of freedom that I've never known before. There's only one way there. You're the key. You're the key that opens up the path. You're the person that's going to be the person who saves you. It's you. You're the one who saves you all along. You know, your angels and your guides and your loved ones and ancestors and your animals and everybody follow along, but you're saving yourself. You're telling yourself, I want to do this. I'm worth it. I don't care how it comes. I'm just going to focus on what I'm doing. I'm going to challenge my mind to change and flip things that are going on. And it will be, I'll take a little bit of time, and it will be, something that I'll have to be mindful of, the way that my mind works. But I'll have to remember that everything that I'm saying and thinking creates. So what do I want it to be? Let's make it easy. I'm going to make life easy for myself. It's a decision that you make. It doesn't matter if you're on the street. It doesn't matter if you live on the street. A decision that you make for yourself. A decision that you make to be you, to accept you. No matter who has told you what, that you are refusing to listen to that ever again. People are going to try to tell you what to do. People are going to try to talk you out of it. They're not your people. Your people are the ones that go, you go for it. You do it. I'll help you however I can, but you please do it. I know you can do it. Those are your people. They're not always family and friends. Sometimes they're just there as agitators. Right? They're just there to, stir the pot or something. See if you're going to quit. See if you're going to feel bad and not do something because it might upset somebody. No. It's time for all that. That's never gotten you anywhere. Other than in positions that you were completely stressed about. In positions that were making you feel sick and actually physically making you ill. No more. If you just take a chance on yourself at first, writing down some of these things that I've been talking about, using this video as a guide, and looking back at all the areas, you're going to be shocked when you look back at all the areas in your life where other people have taken your time, and other people have taken your mind, and other people have taken your body, and you've given it away. You're going to be looking at that like, geez, don't then start feeling bad about it or guilty about it. Just say, okay, that was then, this is now. New me is beginning. I don't care what time of the year you do it. It doesn't matter. You can begin something at any age as well. So I know that there's some of you out there who think that you're too old. It's a load of rubbish. Okay? Some of you think you're too young. That's a load of rubbish as well. In fact, it's great to start when you're younger. You know? Not trying to do it. It's harder when you're, you know, I'm supposedly middle-aged, but I don't want to accept that. And, you know, starting this whole thing in my 30s, etc., and then to where I am now kind of thing is completely different to where I started to where I am now. You got to start somewhere, right? And you got to start with yourself. And I mean to tell you, I can tell you till I'm blue in the face, and you'll think to yourself, well, I don't think it's that. It's got to be something else that I need. You know, I'm on medication, or I'm on this, or I'm on that, or I need to talk to a shrink, or whatever. Whatever you want to tell yourself, you're going to delay yourself. That's all you're doing, is you're delaying yourself from having freedom. You know, if you start now, let me tell you, by 6 months' time, if you keep on going with it and you keep on doing it and you keep on progressing with it, you're going to be buzzing with how much has changed in 6 months. And it's so easy now compared to what it was back when I started, right? So everything's there, everything's easy, it's laid out for you. You just got to do it. Follow other people who are like-minded. Follow other pages, like thousands of them. Your job every day is to follow at least 50 people every day. Because then they will see that. And suddenly you've got people following you haven't even advertised for. You follow people on Instagram, you follow people on Facebook, you follow people in pages, you like pages, you create them as your favorite page or whatever you want to do. Follow people on YouTube, everybody following each other kind of thing. And it starts to grow by itself. Yes, it's slow when you haven't got any money, okay? And you have to work your butt off. And you're not going to have time to go and do what other people want you to do. And you're going to have to say no to some kinds of invitations, you know? I mean, I need at least a month before, if we have to go to a gig or something, I'm going to need a month to prepare for that, because I've got to get all this stuff finished before I can go out and do something. And that's cool, whatever, that's how it is. And then there's times when I just take time off. Right now, I'm not taking phone calls until January. So you can go for it, you can book yourself in, whatever, but it'll be January, and that's cool. Before I'd be like, I've got to get people in right away, you know, freaking out. It doesn't work that way, right? That's not going to work for you. So you have to give yourself a chance. You don't listen to anybody else but your own self. You push yourself forward with kindness to who you are, acceptance of who you are. Stop beating yourself up. Remember my words. Are you making an excuse right now? That's my word. Okay? You're going to hear that ringing. Are you making an excuse? Oh my God, she's everywhere. Right? And self-talk every day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the chat back up again. You can ask me questions about this. And then we're finished for this webinar. So I'll put the chats back up. There it is. And there it is. Okay. So if anybody has some questions about what we were talking about, right, okay. Good. I'm glad I put that in your head. Good. Oh, that's cool. Oh, thanks, Ganiva and Patricia. That's so lovely. Thank you. Yeah, so you guys got questions about that? Wow, powerful pep talk. Thank you. Yeah. I'd like to, I knew that this was going to be a big one. I've been looking forward to it. I really, I'm going to be sharing this video around. People needed this today. Thank God. It's the 19th. Remember, coming up on Monday, super important day. Super important day. The solstice and the conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter. The old soulmates are going to be able to touch hands. First time in 800 years. Fantastic. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Okay. This has been really helpful. Thank God. But I will make more videos based around, you know, marketing yourself and all that sort of stuff and behind the scenes stuff if you like it. You know, I actually have quite a lot of skills that are not spiritual skills. How's that? Didn't even get trained, just trained myself. So fantastic. Oh, good. Even my husband thought, wow, I learned something. Thank you so much. So, oh, you're welcome, Dana. And you're one of the ones that is, you're going to go super far, you know. So, do we still need to pay money? So when you create ads on Facebook, you can set a budget. You know, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can set a budget, but let that happen. Let yourself advertise yourself first, and then you know, once you start getting a little bit of income coming in, then you can start doing the advertisements on Facebook. But you know, you can get millions of people looking at your site, rather than what Facebook would recommend would probably be like 10 people. So what's that, Dana? You're welcome. I know that there are a lot of courses out there that cost a lot of money, like $1,500 to $3,000 to talk to a web designer, or something like that. That is not what's needed. It's more that you're liking pages. Facebook may have changed a little bit, but you should at least be able to do 10 pages that are like-minded a day. You should be. And once you get up there and going, you should be able to add more as well. Instagram allows you to add pretty much as many as you want in a day. Make sure that things that you want. I followed a yoga lady because she was following she was following my page, and I'm like, oh, this is a yoga lady, I'm going to follow her. And oh my Lord, the pictures that she had of herself. I'm like, we could see everything she had for lunch there. Like, I'm like, unfollow. Who would have thought? I'm just an innocent yoga page. I like word of mouth in closed groups. Yep. Things like that. You don't want to be advertising your services in a place that doesn't fit as well. YouTube and all of that sort of thing, with YouTube advertising and AdSense and all that, that's a whole nother big story as well. Right, okay. So there's a lot of connections with YouTube and AdSense. You've got to get yourself an AdSense account, all of that sort of stuff. The thing with YouTube used to be that you could just follow and subscribe people, etc. The algorithms have all changed. So your hashtagging needs to be on point with YouTube. You need to be careful also what you're saying now on YouTube, because you will be flagged. So there's a little bit of different stuff with YouTube. But start with Facebook. It's a little bit easier, and it can branch out to everywhere else. So Rhonda, Merry Christmas. Yeah, afraid of being punished and all of those things. Okay, so some people are feeling old stuff regarding putting yourself on the spot, being spiritual, etc. There is a lot of past life energy in anyone who's speaking. There's going to be past life energy on that, and perhaps you just need to block and clear out your own blocks until you feel confident enough. But it's still an excuse that you make. You know, I'm afraid to speak in person in case I'm going to be punished. You know, the thing is, you're not in this day and age, for any of it. And, you know, we have to get past those things, and we'll get stronger by doing that as well. So, yeah, so the word of mouth pages you've got to be careful with, because some of them they'll sort of flag different things as well. Oh, fantastic. Definitely, I've been in many past lives doing exactly the same thing, but obviously failed in finally trying to get my word out because we're all shut up back in those days and we're not allowed to continue. And it's like, you get, blamed for everything that happens in the city, etc. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, we do have to get through those trigger points that we try to stop ourselves, but really super easy to do that as well. Hey, you're welcome, Dana. So what I hope that everybody gets from this is that a sort of like an idea that you can do anything that you want to do. And yes, there'll be things that you try to stop yourself with doing. If you're really serious about growing things and you want some advice, you want to talk to me, you can make a booking or something like that, or email me if you just have one question or something. These are things that I've decided that I would branch out and help with because there's so many people that you guys all have so many skills and you need to be bringing it forward. That's basically what my job is, to help you help yourself. Okay? So I thank each and every one of you for hanging in there with me and putting up with the little bit of sad, just emotion that came to the surface out of nowhere. It's just being proud of people, and also proud of myself. And yes, thank you to each and every one of you, all the tribe. We will do some work on past life stuff if that is what's bothering you. And I just ask that you wouldn't mind sharing the video around to people that would love it. And also to become a patron and get even more help. So next time, see you soon on the 24th, so Christmas Eve. And I'll probably see you on the 21st as well, because it's the energy of the solstice and that special conjunction with Saturn and oh, cool. TikTok. I didn't know anything about TikTok. Awesome. I love it. So thank you so much, and I will see you real soon, and I'll let you know if I'm going to be here on the 21st and also on the 24th. I don't know anything about TikTok. If you guys know something about that, or I heard that wasn't a very good thing, maybe it is. I will see you guys later on. Lots of love, many blessings, and bye for now. Bye, everyone.